Good afternoon. Today we are discussing about the lathe machine. So it's generally called as machine tool, generally called as machine tools. So in metal cutting or a traditional machining process are also known as a conventional machining process. Means that any product if you are going to take that can be manufactured by different ways. That can be manufactured by different ways. So in order to manufacture, then it has to be remove the metals from the metal surface. So that is called as machining process. That is called as machining process. So these processes are commonly carried out. These processes are commonly carried out in the machine shop. In the machine shop, or we can call it as tool room. Machine tool. Machine tool is nothing but which is used for machining purpose. Machining is nothing but removing the excess material, from the surface of the workpiece, from the surface of the workpiece. And these are machine tools are used. The machine tools are used for machining the cylindrical objects or flat objects. Machining for cylindrical object or flat objects to into a desired shape. If I want to make it to desired shape and size and finish on a rough block of job material with the help of wedge shape tool. With the help of wedge shape tool. The wedge shape tool is called nothing but a single point cutting tool. It's nothing but single point cutting tool. So the cutting tool is constrained. Here the cutting tool is constrained to move related to the job. So the tool is fixed. The tool is fixed and the job is rotated. Job is rotated. So the cutting tool is constrained. The cutting tool is constrained to move the relative to the job in such a way that the layer of metal on from the job, that the layer of metal from the job removed in the form of chip. In the form of chip. Chip is nothing but it is a amount of material which is removed from the surface. From the surface that is called as a chips. And if you take that machining is one such process which involves the removing the excess material from the metallic object, removing the excess material from the metallic objects. In that machining process, which include machining process which I are talking about here, the machining process includes the turning, drilling, milling, and all those. And these are all carried out by using the machine tools. Using the machine tools. Among these machine tools, which is the lathe, is one of the machine tool which is called the father of machine tools. And so when you go to the machine tool, what is the definition of machine tool? A machine tool is a power driven metal. It's a power driven metal cutting machine which assists in managing, means the in managing the relative motion between the cutting tool and the job, cutting tool and the job, that changes the size and shape of the job. So in metal cutting or machining process, working motion is imported to the workpiece. Means the workpiece will be under rotation, and the cutting tool by the mechanism of machine tool, so that the work and tool, both work and tool travel related to each other. Both work and tool travel related to each other, and machining the workpiece material in the form of shavings known as chips. So the machine tools, which involve various kinds of machines, as I told you, there are different operations can be performed on these machine tools, and based on that operations, we can have a different machine tools which you call as lathe, shaper, planer, slaughter, drilling machine, and milling machine, grinding machines. All these are called as machine tools. All these are called machine tools, which are used for the purpose of removing the excess material from the metallic objects. So the machining jobs are mainly of two types. One is the cylindrical and flats. Cylindrical and flats are prismatic, and cylindrical jobs are generally machined using the lathe, which are in the cylindrical jobs. Since the workpiece which you are going to use, if of the cylindrical shape, then we are going to use the lathe machines, milling machines, and drilling machines, and cylindrical grinding machines. Whereas, in the case of prismatic jobs, which is kind of prismatic jobs are nothing but which is a kind of prisms kind of. So prisms are kind of instance like pentagonal prism, hexagonal prism, kind of those flat surfaces. They are having the flat surfaces on its surface. It is not a cylindrical surface. So those are called as prismatic jobs. Those are machined. Those are machined using the shaper, planer, milling, drilling, and surface grinding. So these are all the machine tools which are used depending on the type of machining jobs which you need to machine. Next, coming to the lathe machine, as per the syllabus, this is the oldest. This is the the oldest machine tool, and also it is a most basic tool used in the industry. You say wherever you go to the industry, this is the lathe machine which will be available in all the industries. So a lathe is defined as a machine tool which is used to remove the excess material by forcing a cutting tool against the workpiece, by forcing a cutting tool against the workpiece. So the lathes are also called as turning machines, because we are going to remove the material or remove the machining can be happen through turning operation. So that's why it is called as turning operation. Since the workpiece is turned or rotated between two centers, that's why it is called as turning machines. And the primarily it is going to produce the cylindrical objects and tapered surfaces as well, and also used for knurling, thread cutting on metal parts, okay. So here, this is commonly known as mother of all other machine tools. As I told you, the lathe is the very widely used machine tool, and we know that this is used for removing the material from the job, and the job is rotated between the two centers, and then turn it against a single point cutting tool. The cutting tool is called a single point cutting tool, and cutting takes place as a point. So that's why it's called single point cutting tool, and which will remove the metal from the job in the form of chips. So if you look at here, this is what a schematic diagram of these are the headstock center, and this is the tailstock center. In between these two centers, we have placed this. This is called a job. This is called a job or work, whatever you can call it as, job or workpiece, or okay, work we can call it as. And the tool is fed against to this. So this is the cutting tool which is used to remove the material by the rotation of this workpiece. The tool is stationary and it can be moved. It can be moved in a longitudinal direction as well as transverse direction. Okay. So when it is moving, first you need to give a little bit in a transverse direction to get the feed or depth of cut, and then it has to be moved in the longitudinal direction so that the metal can be removed. And see here, working principle of lathe. When you look at this working principle of lathe, the machine works on a principle. The machine works on a principle that a cutting tool, this is a cutting tool, cutting tool can remove the material from this job. Can remove the material when it is moved from right to left. When it is moved from right to left, that is against to the rotating workpiece. Means the workpiece is rotated here, and it is the cutting tool is stationary. Cutting tool is steady. It won't rotate. It will be but moved in a longitudinal and transverse direction to remove the material from the workpiece. So the machine works on the principle that cutting tool can remove the material when it is moved against a rotating workpiece. This is working principle of lathe. Suppose if the tool is, this is the accomplished by rotating the workpiece between two rigid and strong supports. These are called as two rigid strong supports, which are called as headstock and as well as tailstock. And while the cutting tool, which is harder than the workpiece material, is fed against it. So cutting tool should be harder than the material which you are going to use. Say generally the material or work which you are going to machine here, mild steel and generally ductile metals, we can say ductile materials like aluminum, mild steel, all can be machined. All ductile materials can be machined using the lathe machine. When you use this ductile materials, then the tool should be harder than the ductile material which you are using here. So generally the tool is made up of in carbide tools, okay, high speed steel tools, which you have studied in the materials chapter. So HSS tools we can call it as, or carbide tools we can use. Uh, Generally tungsten carbide tools and all we can call it as. So the carbide tools or HSS steel is harder than the workpiece. So if you look at this 3D of this particular job, so this is the one which your cutting tool is removing. See, it is removing the excess material. So actually this is a diameter of this much, and it is a reduced diameter because we have removed the material by using this cutting tool. So as the job rotates like this, and the tool is moved in a longitudinal as well as transversional direction. So transverse direction is for giving the depth of cut, and as well as longitudinal direction is for feed. Okay, so that it can be moved and then remove the surface of the material. So this is the working principle of lathe. When the tool is moved, say for example, when the tool is moved parallel to the axis of the rotation, parallel to the axis of the rotation, when the tool is moved parallel to the workpiece, then the axis of the workpiece, then the cylindrical surface is going to be obtained. See, this is the axis of the workpiece, and if the tool is moved parallel to this axis of the surface, then I'm going to get the cylindrical surface, reduced cylindrical surface, reduced cylindrical surface. And similarly, when the tool is moved perpendicular to the axis of the workpiece, see here, this is the axis of the workpiece. When the tool is moved perpendicular to this, means in this direction, transverse direction, then we are going to get a flat surface, means reduced in the length, reduced in length. So this is the flat surface which you are going to obtain when you move the tool perpendicular to the axis of the rotation or perpendicular to the axis of the workpiece. And if the tool is moved inclined in a with some angle, say this is alpha. Alpha is the tool is moved in a with the inclination. Tool is moved with the inclination. Then we are going to produce a tapered surface. And we are going to produce a tapered surface. So called we can call it as tapered turning. Okay. So this is before going to the lathe machine parts. Before going to the lathe machine parts, we'll go to the one video. So this is a lathe machine which is called as see, the workpiece is rotating here. The workpiece is rotating here. This is the job rotation, we can call it as. And here is the cutting tool. Here is the cutting tool which is fed against to this rotation of workpiece. And the material is removed. The material is removed. See here, the form of chips. See, in the form of chip, that is called as chips. These are all called. See, these are called as chips which are falling like this. See, these are all called as chips. Okay. So the lathe is a machine which is going to be which removes the material from the job and reduces the job to the required shape and size. This is how the working principle of lathe. So here, this is the naming of this. This is called, as I told you, that is a workpiece, and this is called chuck. This is called a chuck, and this is a single point cutting tool. If you look at this, this is a single point cutting tool, and this is a parallel axis. Means the tool is moved parallel to the axis of the rotation. The parallel to the axis of the rotation. So this is achieved by rotating. Means the principle of working. It is achieved. The removal of material is achieved by rotating the workpiece, while a single point cutting tool removes the material by traversing in a direction parallel to the axis of rotation. So working principle of lathe. The workpiece, chuck. This is called chuck, in which the workpiece is held, and this is the tool piece where you have used the cutting tool is going to be mounted on this tool post. The workpiece is held in the chuck between the centers. This is how the rotation takes place. And the tool is going to be moved in this direction. The cutting tool is moved in this longitudinal direction. The cutting tool held in tool post, the longitudinal direction, it is moving and starts removing the material from this piece. The cutting tool held in tool post is fed against to this. See here. So this is the workpiece is rotated. The cutting tool, see, the machining is happening. Then the diameter is going to be reducing. See here, the diameter is reducing. So these are the reducing. Turning operation can be happened. So that is called a headstock assembly and workpiece. Headstock, spindle. These are the two what you call parts which are talking about. So once again, we'll come back to this. Okay, right. So that is about the lathe machine and how the turning, how the cutting takes place and how the material is going to be removed. And based on that, how the flat surface is going to be obtained. Cylindrical surface is going to be obtained. Flat surface is going to be obtained, and as well as taper surface. That will go with the once again the video. And then here, lathe machine parts. If you look at this. This is a schematic diagram of lathe machine. Generally, lathe machine has consists of many parts, and majorly we can talk about the bed is the one major part we can talk about, and headstock, and then tailstock, then carriage. This is called as carriage. This whole thing is called as carriage. So if you look at that video, this carriage is moved. The carriage is moved because as the tool has to move, then entire carriage has to be moved by using this hand wheel. By using this hand wheel, we are going to move the cutting tool in a longitudinal direction as well as the transverse direction. In the transverse direction, I use the cross slide. I use the cross slide so that transverse direction of the cutting tool can be happen. So this is the carriage is the one of the major part of the lathe machine, and headstock and tailstock. Okay, and the carriage. One more is feed rod. This is called as a feed rod. This is called as a feed rod, and lead screw. Lead screw. These are the generally majorly these are the parts which are going to talk about. So bed. First we'll go with the bed. Without this bed, the lathe machine cannot be say, because it is on this lathe bed. On this lathe bed, we have mounted all the headstock and tailstock and carriage. So bed is the headstock is mounted at the left end of this bed. Okay, it is a rigid structure. Generally, you see here, this is columns or legs. We can call it as. It is completely a U-shaped, a inverted U-shaped. Lathe bed is nothing but inverted U-shape. Okay, it is a rigid structure which forms the base or a foundation to support all other parts such as this one, headstock as well as the tailstock as well as carriage. All these will be mounted on this particular. Okay, so it is a rigid structure which forms the base or a foundation to support all the other parts like headstock, tailstock, and carriage. And it is generally made up of gray cast iron. It is generally made up of, that is, lathe bed is made up of generally gray cast iron. And at the top of the bed, see here, this is the top of the bed. We can call as where this is the top of the bed. These two lines, if you look at these two lines, are called as guideways. These two lines are called, when you take the 3D view, then I will explain there what are the guideways. And these guideways are for accurate movement of carriage and tailstock. So all these move in a longitudinal direction. How it is going to be moved in a longitudinal direction, or tailstock can be moved in a forward direction also. So how it can be moved? By using these guideways. So accurately it move in a parallel to the axis of rotation. This carriage moves parallel to the axis of rotation, exactly parallel. Means that accurately it's going to move from right to left, right to left. And the second one, very importantly, headstock. So headstock, also called as life center, and headstock is mounted at the left end of the lathe bed, and it contains the gears and pulleys. That's why you see here. Here I mentioned that gearbox. So gearbox is inside the headstock. Gearbox is inside the headstock, which is used to give the different spindle speeds. They give the different spindle speeds. So gearbox is placed inside the headstock, and here it contains the gears or pulleys by means of which the workpiece can be rotated at different speeds. So we can obtain the various spindle speeds by changing the gears or by changing the pulleys belt. Okay. So it is provided with a live center or chuck. We can call it as live center or chuck, which is to support the one end of the workpiece. So generally, this chuck is used to support the one end of the workpiece while it is being rotated. So that workpiece is hold in the chuck. And tailstock. There's one more important lathe part. There's the tailstock. Generally, this tailstock is mounted on the right-hand side of the lathe bed. So the tailstock is mounted on the right-hand side of the lathe bed. And what is the function of this tailstock is, in the sense, it is to provide the support. It is to provide the support to the other end of the rotating workpiece, because workpiece is held in the live center, and one end is held at the chuck, and the other end is held by the tailstock. Dead center, and to provide the support to the other end of the rotating workpiece, and also to hold a tool called drilling tool for performing operations like drilling, reaming, tapping. All these some of the operations can be performed. By holding the tools in the tailstock. So these are the two functions which can be carried out by the tailstock. So tailstock generally for providing the support to the other end of the rotating workpiece, and as well as holding a tool for performing the operations like drilling, reaming, and tapping and all. And so the tailstock can be made to slide along the bed. As I told, the carriage and tailstock both moves on the guideways, both moves on the guideways along the bed, and it can be clamped at any point and at any locations. This can be clamped. See here, if you look at this nut, so this can be loosened and then it can be moved to and fro on the guideways, and it can be clamped at any position, at any location, so as to accommodate the workpiece of different lengths, so as to accommodate the workpiece of different lengths. So next is very important part of lathe machine is a carriage. So what carriage is? Generally, the carriage is having the n number of parts. So in the carriage, if you look at here, this is one is a saddle, the other one is saddle. This is cross slide. Cross slide is carriage. See here, the cross slide is mounted on the carriage for transverse movement of cutting tool, and the compound rest is generally used for obtaining the taper surfaces and all those, and as well as the tool post we have mounted on this compound rest, and apron where the levers are present, or the hand wheels and all clutches which are to operate to carriage, those things will be placed on the apron. Feed rod, lead screw, and all called as carriage. The cutting tool is supported. The carriage is mainly the cutting tool is supported, moved, and controlled. The cutting tool is supported, moved, and controlled with the help of the carriage. So generally, it consists of, as I told you, it consists of saddle. The saddle can be made to slide along the bed base. The saddle can be made move along the bed base. And cross slide, the cross slide is mounted on the saddle. The cross slide, which is mounted on this side, cross slide is mounted on the saddle, and this is for allows the cutting tool to move at right angle to the lathe axis, that is transverse direction, in the transverse direction. And compound rest is mounted on the cross slide. See, this is a cross slide, this is the cross slide, and this is the compound rest. This is the compound rest which is mounted on the cross slide, and it supports the tool post. The compound rest has a circular base. It has a circular base. Which is in terms of, that is divided into graduated into degrees. This helps the cutting tool can be swiveled to a given angle. To obtain the taper surface. This compound rest can be swiveled to a given angle. And tool post, this tool post is nothing but to hold the cutting tool, and it is mounted on the compound rest. This is the tool post. It is mounted on the compound rest, and it is used to hold or support the cutting tool firmly in position during machining. And apron is the fitted beneath the saddle. This is called apron. Okay, and this is houses the gears, levers, hand wheels, and clutches to operate the carriage. In order to operate the carriage, we need to have the gears, hand wheels, and all those. So these are all mounted. In the apron. And feed rod. See here, this is called as a feed rod. This feed rod is used to give automatic feed. To give the automatic feed to the carriage for various operations, like thread cutting and all those. Except thread cutting, like boring, turning, and all, we can use the carriage automatic feed. And lead screw, it is a long shaft with the square threads on it. See here, this is you can call it as a lead screw, which has the square threads on it. The rotation of the lead screw facilitates the movement of carriage. During the thread cutting operation. So these are the major parts which are discussed in the lathe machine. Now we'll go to the video. Yeah. So which we have discussed the different headstock and tailstock. So this is how actually lathe machine looks like. So these are the different parts. Okay. Here, this is called lathe bed. And if you look at this, these two lines are called as guideways. So on this guideways, this is here. If this carriage is moving, on these guideways. So if you look at this operation, while performing this operation, The carriage, see the carriage movement, if you look at, it is moving along the guidelines, along the guideways, along the guideways. See this, okay, right? So this is the actual lathe, we can call it as. So this is the tail stock, this is the tail stock, and this is the head stock and chuck, and this is the carriage, headstock spindle with the chuck. This spindle is here, and then this is called as chuck, which is rotating. It's called as a chuck, and chuck may be of two types. One is a three jaw chuck and four jaw chuck. Okay, and this is how the carriage is moved. How the carriage is moved. So on the guideways, see here, these are the guideways on which it is going. See the carriage movement. See the carriage movement. It is moved along these two guideways. So similarly, tailstock is also moved along the guideways. So this is called as cross slide, and this is called compound rest. This is called tool post. So all compound rest is mounted on the cross slide, and tool post is mounted on the compound rest. The whole thing is mounted on the carriage. The whole thing is mounted on this carriage. So as we discovered, the apron contains the levers and hand wheels and all those, which is fixed. I mean, which is mounted on this apron. Which is mounted on this apron. So we'll go to the lathe parts to the PPT. Yeah. So first we discuss about the lathe bed, right? So which is forms the base of the machine, and it is mounted on the legs of the lathe machine, which you can call as, these are called legs or columns. These two are called as legs of the lathe machine, and it is made up of gray cast iron, and its top surface is machined accurately and precisely. And headstock, we have told that it is an important part of a lathe machine, and which is mounted permanently on the inner guideway. So the left hand side of the bed, it consists of main spindle, chuck, fitted at a spindle nose, back gear drive, and all gear drives will be mounted in the headstock. And main spindle is nothing but, which is a hollow cylindrical shaft, which is a hollow cylindrical shaft used for holding the life center or collet. So which is used to hold the life center or collet. And the spindle rotates on two large bearings housed on the headstock casting. The front end of the spindle is threaded. Those are used for holding the chuck, faceplate, driving plate, and catch plate. And tailstock. See here, if you look at this, this is the tailstock which contains the dead. This is called dead center. This is called as dead center, and this is called as sleeve clamp, and this is called sleeve, and this is the hand wheel. And tailstock is located on the inner guideways, and the body of the tailstock is bored and house the tailstock spindle, and the spindle moves front and back inside the hole, and it has a tapper hole to receive the dead center. This is called dead center. Okay, and it is made up of cast iron. It is body made up of cast iron. And lead screw. Lead screw is used to transmit the power to carriage through gear and clutch arrangement in the carriage apron. And the life center is mounting on a bearings and rotates with the workpiece. So life centers are using to hold the workpiece, and dead center is maybe used to support the workpiece at either the fixed or rotating end of the machine. And dead center are typically hardened to prevent the damage to the important mating surface of the tapper, and to preserve the 60 degrees angle of the nose. And carriage is located between the headstock and tailstock on the lathe bed guideways. It can be moved along the bed either towards away from the headstock. So this is what carriage. If you look at here, this is the 3D view of the carriage. So this is the tool post and the compound rest and cross slide. On the cross slide, saddle, this is the saddle, and then apron. So these are the very important parts in a lathe machine, and it can be moved along the bed either towards away or from the headstock. It has several parts to support, move, and control the cutting tool. Okay, so tool post, it is located on the top of the compound slide. It is used to hold the tools rigidly. And cross slide, it is situated on the saddle and slides on the dovetail guideways at the right angles to the bed guideways. And compound rest, it is a part which connects the cross slide and compound slide. The compound rest can be swiveled to the required angle when the tapper turning is required. So operations performed on a lathe. What are the different operations performed on a lathe? Plane turning, facing, knurling, thread cutting, drilling, and tapper turning. So if you look at this plane cylindrical turning operation, when the tool is traveled parallel to the axis of rotation, then the cylindrical turning can be obtained. So cylindrical turning is a lathe operation which is used to remove the excess material from the workpiece and to produce a cylindrical surface of desired dimension. So using the cross blade, the cutting tool is first adjusted for the desired depth of cut. Then the workpiece revolves the tool is fed against the workpiece in the direction parallel to the axis of the rotation or axis of the rotation. So with this, we can achieve the cylindrical surface, cylindrical turning. Next, facing. Facing is the operation for generating a flat surface. Facing is the operation is used to generate a flat surface at the end of the workpiece. At the end of the workpiece, if you look at this here, this is the end of the workpiece. In order to get the flat surface at this end, we are going for facing operation. Facing operation for generating a flat surface at the end of the workpiece. In this operation, the tool is fed perpendicular to the axis of rotation. In this operation, the tool is fed perpendicular to the axis. Axis of rotation is like this, and tool is fed diagonal like this, means 90 degrees to this axis of rotation. So facing is also carried out to reduce the length of the workpiece. It is also carried out to reduce the length of the workpiece. And knurling is the process of embossing a diamond shaped pattern on the surface. Knurling is a process which is we are going to embossing you're going to embossing the diamond shaped pattern on the surface of the workpiece, on the surface of the workpiece. So thereby by using the revolving hardened steel wheels, these are called hardened steel wheels here. So by using the hardened steel wheels pressed against the workpiece, pressing against the workpiece. So a knurling tool held in the tool post. A knurling tool is held in the tool post, and then knurling is done to provide the grip on handles. Generally, this knurling is the process which is used for providing a grip on the handle, screw heads, and other cylindrical parts to be gripped by hand. And next is taper turning. So taper turning is the one of the process producing a conical surfaces. It is a one of the lathe operations which is used to produce a conical surfaces or tapered surfaces from a cylindrical object, So this is produced when the cutting tool moves at an angle of at an angle of alpha to the axis of rotation, of the workpiece. And there are different ways which can be achieved by this taper turning. There are four methods. One is by swiveling the compound rest, by offsetting the tailstock, and as well as taper turning attachment, and finally using the farm tool method. So here, tapering can be obtained by any one of the following methods. So how we are going to calculate the taper turning angle? So as I told that the cutting tool is moved at an angle of say alpha to the axis of rotation. That alpha how we are going to calculate? See here, if d is the large diameter and d is the smaller diameter, and L is the length of the taper which you need to do, then taper can be defined as d minus d by L, and then taper angle is equal to tan inverse of d minus d by 2a. So by using this equation, we can find out the how much angle the cutting tool has to move with the axis of rotation. So as we discussed, there are different methods which you can achieve. There are two methods as per your syllabus: taper turning by swiveling compound rest. Swiveling compound rest which we have discussed there. The swiveling compound rest to a given angle. So as you calculate the angle by using the tan inverse of d minus d by 2l, and then this compound rest has to be rotated to a given angle of alpha. So a taper can be produced with the use of compound rest, and the tool is mounted on the compound rest. The tool is mounted on the compound rest, which is attached to a circular base, which may be swiveled and clamped at any desired angle. So any desired angle means we have the theta alpha, which we taken as tapered angle. So this angle must be one of the taper angle, which is alpha by 2 required on the component. The tool is fed by hand by rotating the compound slide. So the use of the compound slide permits the movement of the tool at an angle to the center line of the lathe. So the compound slide can be moved at an angle to the central line of the lathe, thus producing the taper. Thus we are going to produce the taper. Since the linear movement of a compound rest is limited, this method is suitable only for tappers no longer than this movement. Okay, very small kind of taper lengths. Taper turning by tailstock offset method. So in the tailstock offset method, as shown in the figure, the center line of the workpiece be offset from the axis of the lathe. So here offset is nothing but see here the lathe machine. Look at the lathe machine. Here the tailstock, which is offset from the guideways, which is offset from the guideways. So we can see in the videos. So if you look at this tailstock, see here, this is the tailstock which is offset, See here, the tailstock, so dead center here. This is the actual line of axis. Then we are going to offset. This the axis is offset. See now the workpiece is held. See this is the amount of offset from the actual lathe axis. Lathe axis is this one. Then this is called as dead center or tailstock offsetting. So tailstock offsetting is nothing but this much. So see the job is placed like this. See the job is placed like this. Then this offset is nothing but we are going to calculate by using that equation. So